Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. This week we are reviewing Rollercoaster 1977. Again, this is one of my, well, I always start off by saying this is one of my favorites. But yes, all of these films are one of my favorites. We should start there. And this one stars George Segal, Timothy Bottoms, and Hollywood legend Richard Widmark. George Segal is famous for being in comedies mainly, like the Owl and the Pussycat and Fun with Dick and Jane with Jane Fonda. And he also has done lots of dramas over the years as well. And here's a trailer for it. Check it out.
You have to wait a long time to ride the rocket. But when you climb into your seat and they lock you in, get ready for the thrill of your life. Now, Universal plunges you into a mystery at the speed of sound. Rollercoaster. Accident in California, and the mystery begins.
That's 2 accidents in 1 week. Who's putting the lid on this, the police?
A meeting in Chicago, and the conspiracy begins.
2 accidents in 2 parks 2,000 miles apart without leaving a trace. That means a working knowledge of structural engineering, demolition, and probably electronics.
A recording from a stranger, and the danger begins.
You will only hear this once. Exactly what I say.
25,000 people a day come into our park. They've got to be protected.
Call in the federal authorities.
The drop is tomorrow.
Why pick a place like this?
Because it's noisy, it's crowded, and it's hell to cover. But we have one advantage.
What's that?
Calder.
Thanks a lot.
A drop in Virginia, and the chase begins.
Harry.
Yeah.
Your time has run out. You know what happens when you don't follow directions.
Tell them to stop it.
They started.
Let's go.
Now, the game is over, and the ride begins.
They're over the lift. It's too late to stop them now.
This movie is directed by James Goldstone, who you're like, who is James Goldstone? Well, nobody knows who James Goldstone is. James directed tons of television. He's a TV guy. And back in the day, there was definitely more of a line in the sand between television directors and motion picture film directors for cinema. And people really had to get their chops in TV for a long time before they could take that jump over into cinema. James Goldstone didn't direct any other big things maybe that you would know of. I mean, a lot of television, a lot of TV movies. This is only his second feature film he directed, and I think he went right back into TV movies again after that. But James Goldstone is not the reason why I started watching this movie back in the day. It was because of the writer's credit that appeared. It was written by Richard Livingston and William Link, and you're like, who are Livingston and Link? Well, they're a writing team that had been writing for television together for decades, really. And they wrote a show in the 70s called Columbo, maybe 100 episodes of it, and which was a great show that I loved, and that's why I wanted to see this movie. Oh, and they also Murder, She Wrote, which was very popular. Anyway, so these guys are good writers, so that's why I watched this movie. I wasn't disappointed. It's so good. There's so much intrigue, so much drama, so much cat and mouse. Basically, the plot of the film is Timothy Bottoms is basically a domestic terrorist. So at the opening of the film, he blows up a coaster, several people die, and then George Segal is with Standards and Practices. So he's the guy who goes to check the roller coasters at these amusement parks to make sure they're okay. And this particular coaster happened to be one that he did check. So he starts to look into it, and he starts to investigate a little bit. And then he figures out that the owners of several of these big amusement parks across the country are all going to Chicago for a meeting. He kind of looks into it to see what's this all about, and he kind of forces his way into this meeting to get the lowdown. Check out this scene with him.
Thank you for coming, gentlemen. Each of your companies is involved either through wholly owned subsidiaries or long-term lease arrangement with the amusement park industry. As you know, it's a peculiar business, more vulnerable than most. During the past week, I've given you 2 examples of just how vulnerable.
So basically, Timothy Bottoms is holding up all these guys who own amusement parks, saying he wants $1 million or is going to blow up more rides. So Timothy Bottoms was listening into this whole meeting of the minds that they had there, and he really liked the way that George Segal's character was giving him credit for being really smart. So for whatever reason, Timothy Bottoms feels just kind of calling him and telling him, hey, I want you to be the guy to deliver the money. This movie was presented in something the studio system called Sense-Around. So back in the day, cinema was struggling to keep up with television audiences, which were all basically watching a lot of TV and not as many movies. So they had to get people back into the theaters with whatever gimmick they could come up with. So Sense-Around was one, VistaVision, things like that to try to get people big widescreen moments. So Sense-Around was basically, they had giant subwoofers and pointed them at the ground, and then they put some on the back on low frequency rumbles. So when you're watching it, it's really this kind of a surrounded by sound, very big bass, which this is before people had, 5.1 Dolby Surround in these theaters. So calling Sense-Around was a big thing. Oddly enough, they only made 5 movies in Sense-Around, including things like Earthquake and Midway. But Rollercoaster was one of them, so it's got that going for it, which is kind of cool. Yeah, so that's Rollercoaster. It's just a great, great film. Don't miss it. Next week, I'm going to do a comedy, The Out-of-Towners, with one of my favorites, Jack Lemmon and Sandy Dennis. This movie is hilarious, and that's all I can say about that one. Oh, also, make sure you check out my overview video. It talks about why I'm doing this channel to begin with. So anyways, and click and subscribe and all that shit. So yeah, alright guys, bye-bye.